Hello, everybody. It's Stephen here for the Idiot Quilter, and welcome to my weekly episode. It is episode 189 for October 18th, 2022. And excitement's in the air. Yes, we're only how many sleeps? 1, 2, 3, 4 sleeps before the big event, the retreat. Yay, I'm excited. I hope you are too. More about that later on. But first, let's take a look at the Christmas projects, or the projects in general that I've been working on, which all happen to be Christmas, pretty much. I'm getting really sick of making Christmas things. And here's the ironic part about the whole thing. I have all these things stockpiled, and I don't know who I'm giving them to. And I think I have more gifts than I have people to give them to. So we'll see how that all works out. Anyways, here is my latest. I've been working on placemats and napkin sets. I've shown you the napkins before with their cute little 3D printed reindeer antlers. This picture doesn't show the antlers very well, but napkin rings. And so I now have 2 sets. What's in a set? There's 4 placemats, and there are 4 napkins. Now, what I think I'm going to do is, if you notice, and I'll show you another picture here of the placemats, if I can get my computer. Okay, come on. Why do you not want to go? All right, overshot. Okay, there we are. So you can see I have 4 that have a green binding and 4 that have a red binding, and the rest of the design is the same, with the exception of the backings. The backings are a couple green, a couple red, kind of a thing too. So what I'm thinking is I will put 2 green bound placemats with 2 red bound placemats, and then 2 green napkins and 2 red napkins in a set. And so I have 2 sets of these made. So 2 people will get placemat sets. So that's one project. And the other one is I finally finished my socks. I have 12 Christmas socks made. I think I'm pretty much done making socks. But I especially like the ones near the end, the ones with the gingerbread man and the Santa on it. Those 2 are really, really cute. And these were additional designs that I bought after I bought the ones that you see that have the snowflake on them and the whole bit. I think those 2 I might reserve for our great nieces, because they're only, I think they're under 10 years old now. The oldest might be 10. I'm not sure. And my plan is I'm going to stuff it full of candy. Yeah, get them wired on Christmas Day with sugar, kind of a thing. But I think they're really quite cute. The others will have, I don't know, lots of things. Maybe some of those seam rippers I've shown you. I've made lots of those. I got about 23 of those made. The gnome seam rippers. And I have other things too that I can stuff in socks. So I have to figure this all out. And when we get closer to December, I will. So I think that's all I have on that show. Yeah, well, no, I'll come back to those later. So let's switch over here. And well, no, I was going to show you that. Okay, I did a purchase this week. This was sort of an impulse buy. I was over at Ultimate Sewing. I was picking up some more Christmas fabric. Yeah, I think I said way back months ago that I had all the Christmas fabric I need. I'm not going to buy anymore. Yeah, I lied. I do like Christmas fabric. I really do. And that's another chore that for myself. I have to go through my drawers with all my bits and pieces of Christmas fabric and, and start sorting that out again in preparation for maybe next year. I don't know. But in the meantime, while I was in there getting some more Christmas fabric, I picked up some thread, some variegated thread. On those placemats, I used a variegated thread for the quilting on them. I just did the quilting really quick and really simple on my domestic machine. I could have laid all the placemats out onto Lucy and did them all like that, but nah, I decided it was more fun to do them just on the domestic machine, keep my hand in there, I guess, sort of a thing. And I used King Tut thread that I had. Now, there was a point in time when I first discovered King Tut thread, and I really liked the colors of it, and it's good quality thread, that I thought I would start collecting it. And I never went any further than about 3 spools of it. All of them are variegated. When I was in Ultimate Sewing the other day, I saw these. They were $9 a roll, or a spool, and so I picked up 4. Now, do I have any immediate plans for these? Nope. They're pretty. That's my motto, right? If it's pretty, buy it. So I did. So I've got that. I also bought something else new here, and just let me see if I can find that screen for you. Now, I picked up this little device. I saw it being talked about on a YouTube channel. I think it's a relatively new product, and it's called Binding Ease. And I haven't used it yet. It just arrived late yesterday afternoon in the mail. I ordered this from a place, as you can tell, I think their name is up there, Stitch by Stitch. They're in Kingston, Ontario, Canada. You can get these in other quilt stores. In the States, they are a heck of a lot cheaper than this. By the time I paid for shipping on this, just from Kingston through Canada Post, it cost me over $80. But I didn't care. I think it's worth every cent if it works, and I think it will work. And what is it, you may ask? Well, it is what it says. You put your 2.5-inch strip of binding fabric through, there's little holes here. Let's see, I'll show you a better picture that'll give you some idea of how this works. So you see, you put your binding strip in there, fold it in half, you lay your iron on top of this silicone pad, and away you go. You just pull one end, making sure it's folding over correctly, and you've got binding. I have not taken it out of the package yet to try it, but I'm excited to do so, because the one thing I do hate, I hate making binding. Now, I have a little gizmo, and I've shown it to you before, that I got from Purple House or something like this. It's a 3D printed piece. They 3D printed it. Believe me, I've looked online to see if I can find a copy of it to print myself, but I can't. And it works okay. You clamp it to the edge of a table, and you pull your binding through it, and as you do, you iron, a piece of it. But this looks like a better invention, because essentially your iron is sitting down on that pad and you're just pulling the binding through, and it presses it along the way. Now, I will do a video of trying this out for the first time, and I'll put that up on next week's episode. But I think this is going to work really well. So that's why I made the investment. Yes, it's an expensive tool, but for me anyways, if it helps me to make binding easier and faster, I'll pay any price, because I hate making binding. I really do. So that was a new acquisition. And as I said, I'm going to do a video about using it for the first time. What else has been happening? Well, I'm trying to, get the pieces I need for this next month's block of the month, the Lakeside quilt. I don't really have anything to show you yet. It's still in pieces. I thought we were getting close to the end of this quilt, this block of the month. I've been working on it since, March? Something like that. This is the 8th month. And yeah, a lot of little pieces, and everything. This time, everything's in 1/8 of an inch and finish at 1/4 of an inch, as in, 4 1/4 squares. Well, why? Why could the designer not have made everything in 1/2 inch and whole and inch, sizing with it? Because there's all this cutting you have to do and all this trimming. Now, this month, the biggest pain in the butt with this one is the trimming. But it'll be beautiful when it's done. I'm really pleased with it so far, and I think it's going to be great. But in the meantime, I just have to keep plugging away at it. And I was kind of hoping that before this Thursday, I would have the blocks for this month done, because I have my second block of the month with month number 2 on the applique quilt to do. Now, I have no idea what that involves because I won't know till Thursday's class. And meanwhile, I have other projects I want to get started, want to get finished, pile of UFOs I have to do for Lucy. It never stops, does it? But I shouldn't complain, because this is our hobby, isn't it? And it brings me joy. So, but sometimes, you sit there and you think of all the things you've got to do, and it starts to become overwhelming. Just remember, it's not a race. The deadlines we impose are imposed upon ourselves by ourselves. They are not put on us by other people. So if you made the deadline, you can break the deadline. You don't have to worry. Nobody is going to criticize you or fail you on that. And you just have to keep that in your mind, you know. But I know we all do it. We all get overwhelmed, especially now. We're moving to the end of October. Everybody's going to start thinking Christmas if they haven't already. I've been thinking about Christmas since August. And the panic sets in. Well, maybe somebody gets a belated Christmas present. Is that a horrible thing? I mean, when you think about it, if they didn't get the quilt you were planning to get them on Christmas Day for it, they didn't get it till January, wouldn't it be still just as thrilling for them? Maybe more so. Because, you know, at Christmas you're getting lots of things. Maybe this would make it unique. I don't know. I'll keep telling myself this until I convince myself of it. Okay, so a week ago or so, someone wrote me a comment and they said they didn't know anything about wool mats. And they really like me to talk about why I like a wool mat. So, and this suggestion was from Faith Malarkey Hepler. And so I thought, okay, I will make a video about wool mats because I have a lot of them. Now, last week I showed you the wool mat cleaning tool that I bought. Well, this week I've created a little video showing you why I like a wool mat. So I had a request to talk a little bit about wool mats, and I have quite a few of them, and I absolutely love wool mats, but there are some things about them that one should take into consideration. So I'm showing here the different sizes. They come in a variety of sizes and shapes, rectangular, square, and this little one on top, you can see this is the one I use when I travel. When I go to a class, I take this with me because it fits very nicely into my travel bag. The next size up is a good one to have. It's a little bit more portable than the one I'm about to show you underneath this, and it's just a little bit more of a surface area to work on. And of course, the one you see here is a huge mat, and I got this for a really good price on Amazon because that's the other thing about wool mats. They are expensive. Are they worth it? Well, I feel that they are. And why is it? Well, when it comes to getting nice flat seams, these work really well. When you put them onto, or when you go to press, if you need to use steam. Now you see in this one I have purposely put a fold in this to show you how much quicker and better using the wool mat is for pressing out folds or creases in your fabric or for pressing your seams. So I don't know if you can see this right here, but now my iron probably hasn't come up to full steam yet because I just turned it on, but even with the amount I'm using, you can see it's taking that right out. Now, why is that? Well, because the wool mat allows the steam to penetrate through, so you get a nice hot surface. And right now, touching this, there is still heat here in the mat. So it retains the heat for a little bit longer than, say, a standard ironing pad or on your ironing board. The other thing, too, is if you have a really stubborn seam that you can't get lay flat, I like to use my wool mat for that, and that usually does make it lay flat, but if not, then I can just quickly put my clapper on top of it, and within a few seconds that seam is very, very flat. So they're great for that as well. As I said, I love them. I think they're worth the money. But there's a couple of things you need to know about wool mats. First of all, well, this one's very clean because it hasn't been used that much, but they will discolor over time and they will burn. If you leave your iron sitting on these, like anything else, they will burn. So be careful of that. They're fairly thick, as you can see, which is very nice. And if you do get a stain on it, I've already shown you this in another video last week. This is a wool mat cleaner. And basically, as I showed in that video, it just sort of shaves off a top layer of the wool, and that will get light staining out. However, that doesn't take really deep stains out of them. Now, I have been told, and I have not tried this, that if you put it in an old pillowcase and throw it in your washer, you can wash them. And maybe I'll try that on one of my older mats and just see how well that works out. Maybe let you know about that at a later date. The other thing about them is, do not put these on something that could melt. For example, do not put these on top of your cutting mat, because when you steam with these, the steam goes right through the back of it and it will warp your cutting mat. So you might want to keep that in mind about the surface you're going to lay this on. Have something underneath it to protect it. I have got a piece of 3/4 inch plywood covered in canvas underneath my wool mats. And that protects my table that's underneath that, the surface of it. But the steam will go right through them. Overall, though, I think they're worth the money. I really like them. That's why I have so many of them. And I was really thrilled when I got this great big one on my surface. This one, actually, I cut this one down. I think it was 60 inches long when I purchased it. And I only needed about 45 inches. Before this, I put several of these together across, but then I had a seam, which was a bit of a pain. Now it's seamless. So yes, they are 100% wool. I highly recommend them. I love it a lot. So yes, they are pricey, but they're one of those items now that I can't live without. No wonder I have so many of them. Okay, that takes me to subscribers quilt of the week, and this is from, I'm probably not going to say her name correctly, Suzanne Perrault. I hope that's correct. Sorry, Suzanne, if I didn't say it quite right. But in the meantime, here is her beautiful creation. This week's quilt from a subscriber is by Suzanne Perrault, and I'm sorry if I'm saying Suzanne's last name incorrectly, and she sends along some pictures of this beautiful creation that she has right here, and she wrote very simply about this quilt. She says, pattern outside the box. I guess that's the name of the pattern. It was made for her mother. It was fabric she used up from her stash. It's a queen size quilt, and she's very happy with the end result, and I think she should be. This is a beautiful quilt. I really like the colors in it because I'm into purple. The pictures, when they were sent to me, are kind of low resolution, so I'm trying to blow them up here so you can get a better look at the quilting. So I'm sorry if they're pixelating a little bit, but you can see here the quilting that she has done, which is very nice. A simple swirl, but very effective. And here's a close-up of it. I assume this is on the back. Let me just see if I can blow this up for you a little bit more. So yeah, a very beautiful quilt. And I'm just wondering if this has been done by long arm or free motion. It looks to me like it's free motion, and I have a feeling it has been done on a domestic machine, but not absolutely sure about that. But either way, it is a beautiful, beautiful quilt, and you should be very happy with how this turned out because it's absolutely lovely. Thank you, Suzanne. And that takes us to the YouTube of the week, and this site is called Modern Folk Embroidery. So for those of you that are into embroidery, and this is hand embroidery, I believe, you may want to check this YouTube channel out. Today's YouTube channel is one for people who like to embroider. And I'm not talking about machine embroidering, I'm talking about hand embroidery. Now, this is not something that really appeals to me, but I know there are many people out there that do hand embroidery, and I think if you don't already know about this person, then I think you need to. It's called Modern Folk Embroidery, and as you can see, it is a gentleman who does this. And he has quite a few videos showing you tips and tricks and techniques and projects for all of you who love everything that has to do with hand embroidery. It looks like he is very, very much in the know of how to do this kind of thing. And I believe he is from the UK as well. At least his accent would suggest that. You can see here he's got floss tube. Floss tube is something that those of you that do embroidery are probably very familiar with. It is kind of a section of YouTube that has a variety of people who do hand embroidery, showing their projects and talking about the whole art of hand embroidery. So if you don't know about him, you should check out his YouTube videos, because I'm sure if you're into hand embroidery, you're going to find something here appealing to you. And so a pattern from my vision board this week is called the double-ended Dresden sunflower block. Double-ended Dresden sunflower block. Okay. I have never done a Dresden. I think I have a template for doing a Dresden, but I'm thinking now if I ever do a Dresden, I'll probably buy an AccuQuilt die for it. It's on my bucket list of quilt designs, to do, because the Dresden plate is basically a classic quilting block design. But here's a little bit more about this particular pattern. This week's pattern that's on my vision board to do someday is this one called the double-ended Dresden sunflower block. Now, I've always wanted to do a Dresden, but I've never got around to it. And I actually have templates for a Dresden as well. Not only that, but I think I can buy an AccuQuilt die that will cut out Dresdens as well. So maybe down the road, I will look into this. Now, this particular pattern is not available to the general public. This is part of the Canadian Quilters Association, which I am a member of. This was also presented by the Quilters Way when we had our Energized 6.0 retreat a couple of weeks ago, but I didn't do it then. But I've kept it in my pile of future projects because I would like to attempt it. Now, would I do it in these colors? Probably not. And this is a block, and it's a fairly large block, I think, when you get it done. I think I would be tempted to make it more into a quilt as well. Not sure how long one of these might take. It's a little tricky, I think, but I'm always looking for patterns that extend my knowledge base, and I think this is one of them that would do that. Sorry that I can't share this actual pattern with you. As I said, you have to be a member of the Canadian Quilters Association in order to get this, but I'm sure if you do a search on the internet, you will find a comparable pattern to this. So, yep, that's a future project. So for the second week in a row, might even be the third week in a row, I do not have any interviews. I have sent out feelers. I have not, in some cases, I have not gotten any replies. In other cases, I've been told no. I've had a few people tell me no in no unlikely terms. What I mean by that is they basically were rude and said no. And that was it. Okay. Their prerogative. I asked nice. Thank you for those of you that have sent suggestions. I have looked into some of them. And I don't want to seem ungrateful for you sending things like that to me, but once again, I do have to reiterate, please, I'm not looking for the big names because they've been interviewed to death. I'm looking for the little guys out there, the quilters, sewers like us, just the average, okay? And if they have a YouTube channel and maybe they only have 200, 300, 400 subscribers or something, I like those ones even better because I'm helping to promote their YouTube channel. I want to do that if they have quality content. And there is the if, okay? They have to be somebody of, I don't know how to put this, substance. What I mean by that is this isn't somebody who is just showing what they made in the last week or two or something like that. No. I mean, their creations may be lovely in the whole bit, but, what's going to pull people to them? So I guess what I'm saying is, yeah, they need to have a YouTube channel pretty much for these interviews. The other thing too is there have been some that are just chats YouTube channels. And what I mean by that is it's sort of like what I'm doing right now on this. I'm telling you in parts of my videos, what I did in the past week, what I've acquired, things like that. But most of the things that I'm talking about, I hope it comes across that way. I'm sharing these things with you, giving you ideas, maybe inspiration, maybe helpful tips and things like that. There was one, I won't say the name of this particular creator, has, you know, a following, but from what I can see, all she does is has a little fireside chat about not a heck of a lot. Okay. It's like she's having coffee with somebody, and that's fine. You know, some of those are kind of very interesting, but there's no substance there. Not for what I consider for a good interview. Having said that, though, I really appreciate people sending me these things, these names of people. I research them. I determine whether or not I think this will make an interesting interview. And if it does, I will do it. So please, if you can think of some more, just jot them down, send them to me, and I'll check them out. Okay, so that takes me to the online quilt store of the week, and this one is called Stitch and Bobbin. This week's online quilt store is called Stitch and Bobbin, and this particular store is located in Gibson, BC. I have never bought anything from them before, so let's just check out their website and see what they have available and what their prices are like. So on their front page, they have some sections here: shop, classes, machines. They are a Bernina, sales rep or dealer, I guess. And they've got some new arrivals. This Magic Premium Quilting and Crafting Aerosol is all the rage right now. I've seen this on several different sites. That may be something I need to explore a little further. I think basically it takes, it's sort of a starch substitute, I guess. But anyways, that's not focus here. So you get some quick ideas. Oh, they have the quilt kit Solar Flare, which is one that I bought, as you know. I think that's a little different design. Haven't started that one yet, though. We'll get there at some point in time. So they have quilt kits, they have irons, they have notions, and below they have all of their information as to where they're located, and they are a brick and mortar store as well. And it's North Vancouver. Oh, they say the North Vancouver location is permanently closed, so they have a new store location, and they tell you about that here. Okay, so let's go back to the top of the screen, and let's go into where it says shop. And we have our different fabrics. Now on the left side of the screen, we have pre-sales, pre-cuts, notions, gifts. So they do have sort of a index to all the things that they sell. So let's check out their fabric and see what they have to offer. Fabric collections, fabric by type and theme, pre-sales, new arrivals, fabric by colors, fabric by manufacturer. Let's try fabric by manufacturer. They also have 108-inch wide backings, but we may come back to that. And they list everything by the manufacturer. So let's check out Northcott. $14.99, $17.99, $18.99. I am assuming that is by a meter. Something's on sale here. Yeah, they've got quite a few pages just in Northcott alone, so that's not bad. Let's just check this out and see, do they tell you? No, they don't. But it is by the meter. Okay, well, now that, mind you, this is just a blender, so it's $14.99, but they seem to go up to about $18.99, at least in Northcott fabrics, which is a not bad price. Not a bad price. It's kind of average, middle of the road. Okay, let's go back into shop again. And I do want to check out their wide backs just to see, where was that? Under fabric, just to see what they have in selection, because I'm always looking for interesting wide back fabric. $31.99 a meter to $34.99 a meter, which is the given price. Okay. Selection is, there's some somewhat unique ones on here. They have 3 pages of them. Oh, there was something there as low as $27.99, $29.99. Yeah, they're not really thrilling me because I've seen most of these fabrics in other places for about the same price, so why bother paying for the shipping if I can get something a little closer to home? We'll look into shipping in just a minute if we can find it. Let's go back into their shop and check out their pre-cuts. Layer cakes, jelly rolls, charm packs, bundles. Check out the bundles. And a lot of them are sold out, but it's nice that they tell you they're sold out. Looks like it's the Tula Pink. Yeah, everybody's sold out of Tula Pink. Not really a great deal to select from here in bundles. A lot of Tula Pink, but they're all sold out. Okay, let's go back again to shop. And they've got notions, they got thread. Let's see, what are they carrying for thread brands? Aurifil, DMC, Glide, Embroidery Floss, Sulky. Okay, they've got a fair selection. Metler, they sell Metler. Let's see what they're charging for Aurifil, since that's the one I use, $14.99. Yep, that's about average price as well. That's about what I pay for it here at Ultimate Sewing, so that's okay. Anything else under shopping we should take a look at? Gifts, their books, foundation paper piecing patterns. Let's take a look at their pattern selection. Average prices, some bag patterns, some table runners, quilts. Okay, well, they've got 7 pages of these, so there might be something there of interest. And one more time back into the shop view. And hand embroidery and cross stitching, books. And of course, they sell sewing machines, Bernina, and the accessories for them, and some sewing furniture as well. Wonder who the maker is of the furniture. And Press and Store. And then Bernina's own brand as well. Oh, they do sell Eddie Crest furniture too, so that's nice to see. Because that's out in my area. Okay, so that's the shopping. The Bernina machines, I don't know much about them. We can take a quick look here, but oh, that took me back to shopping. Okay, I go here, sewing machines. Embroidery machines, sewing machines. Okay, sergers, long arm. Oh, they've got the K Facet Special Edition one, $8,899. It's about the same price as you can get it out here in my area as well. So yeah, I don't know how much leeway dealers have in order to, in far as their prices are concerned. They always show you these higher prices beside it, but that's never the price they sell them at. That's just a tactic that all sewing machine dealers use. They do have classes and events. Free motion quilting, October 11th. So learn to quilt, Woolly's Winter Scene, Jelly Roll Mystery. They have quite a few classes. Classes are limited to 4 to 6 students. Okay, so they have physical classes. Class policies. So it doesn't look like they hold classes though online. It's all in-store types of classes. Okay. You know, more companies, just as an aside here, should offer Zoom classes online. I think they would get a fair number of people. They don't have to limit really the number they would have, and they don't have to worry about health concerns and things like that. I really enjoy taking Zoom classes. Ultimate Sewing has started that with a few of their classes, and I really enjoy those. I do. Okay, they do have long arm quilting services, 3 to 35 cents per square inch. Oh, no, 3 to 3.5 inches per square inch. And custom quilting is 10 cents and up. And they'll even baste your quilts for you too. So they have full service there. Now, one thing I want to find out is what their shipping costs are. They have free shipping on orders over $200. It says up here. Let's see if they have anything else about shipping. Here we go. Policies and shipping. Items are shipped within 1 to 2 business days. Within Canada, up to $19.99. Shipping rate is $7.99. No tracking. If it's $20 to $199.99, it's $14.99. Tracking is provided, and it's free, of course, over $200. That's not bad. That's pretty good. The shipping rate is $24.99, unless surcharges are required for Americans. Okay. Maybe not such a great deal for Americans, but for Canadians, that's not bad. Because really, I would definitely be buying more than $20 or more than $19.99. So $14.99 for $20 to $199.99 is pretty good with that. Okay, so overall, I like the way their site is laid out. It's easy to find things. They have a good variety. Their prices are about average, which is fine as well. And shipping is really good. So this definitely has potential for me to possibly check them out in the future and maybe order something from them. So before I end this episode, just a couple of thoughts about the retreat coming up, an update about this. I have 88, 89 registered people. That's really, really good. I'm quite excited and thrilled with the turnout for this. So this coming Saturday, October the 22nd, starting at 8 a.m., doors open at 7:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, my time, the retreat will begin. I have sent out an agenda to everybody who's been registered. If you did not get the agenda, there's a link in the show notes. Or is there a link in the show notes below? I think there is. Just let me double check here. No, there is not a link to the agenda. But if you didn't get it, please send me an email and I will get one out to you. But I'll be going over the agenda for the day at both the cocktail party and at the beginning of the day on Saturday as well. And that will tell you the times that certain speakers are speaking, so you can plan your schedule around that. I know some of you can't make it for the whole day, or you have to leave at some point and come back a little later on. And that is all fine and dandy. Don't worry about that. That's perfectly okay. I will send out probably Thursday those 2 links again, one for the cocktail party and one for the retreat, to you as an email. I am not posting the links on my show notes on any of the YouTube videos. That's simply a way to control the trolls, because there are trolls out there, ones who want to come in and wreak havoc. And so that's why only people who are registered will receive that. But you should have already gotten the links. I have sent them out a couple of times in the confirmation of your registration and with the agenda document. So, but I will do it again, just, in case you can't find those documents. It happens, So, and I have received many submissions for the show and share. So that is closed now. This is Tuesday. I said Monday at midnight. That was the cutoff for that, because I need some time to put the show together. And I think about 30 some of you have submitted something for that, and that's going to be great. It's going to make a wonderful little show and share slideshow of your beautiful creations. And I think that's it. Yeah. So, hope to see you at the cocktail party if you can make it on the Friday night, this coming Friday night. That starts at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Bring your favorite snack, bring your favorite beverage. If you want to show us something, bring that along too. We'll play some games, we'll have some laughs. It should be a lot of fun. And then Saturday, the main event. Okay, we'll see you at those things later. Have a great week. Bye for now.